every single day.
Hi everyone, it's your girl here to remember me again. Thank you so much for joining me in my little corner here on YouTube where I share all things skincare, makeup, or whatever is going on my mind as of that time. So guys, I know things are very crazy right now. Some of us don't know when we're going to have to return to work. Some of us have lost our jobs, and it's just, there's a lot of uncertainty in the air right now. Anything you guys should take from today's video, let us all just try and do our part. Let us put out some positivity, put those who are the front lines of this crisis at the back of our minds. Let's continue to pray for them. Let's continue to support them. To the nurses, the medical team, the medical support, everyone, you guys are in our thoughts and prayers. Those parents who are home now homeschooling their children and are about to lose it, guys, let's just do our part. Okay, eventually we will get through this. Okay guys, okay, so to the video of today, I know a bunch of my content creators are constantly putting up content on this platform, so just try and put some positivity in the air and to support a lot of people and just put a smile on their face and just take their minds off the chaos that is going on outside. And this is my own contribution to that. My girl TT Latanya Christina from the Beauty Squad, love her, I'm gonna put her video up here. She tagged me, she challenged me for today's video. The theme of that video, you are to pick 10 eyeshadows that you would grab if you had to leave the house immediately, or if you were stuck on an island. Okay, so okay, challenge accepted, TT. Here are my own top eyeshadows, my top 10 eyeshadows that I would take with me to a deserted island. Now, going with that theme, some of these eyeshadows have been featured last week when I shared my top 5/6 eyeshadows, so just so you guys know, let's get started. So I think I shared with you guys last week that every time I go eyeshadow shopping, I pair my eyeshadows into 3 categories: my everyday work look, of my soft glam neutral looks, or my second category, which is my experimental bold eyeshadow look, the third category, which is my glam party date night looks. Okay, so here goes. The first one in that going by that theme of the first category, soft glam everyday errand work looks, I'm going in that first category. That will be the my ABH Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This palette, when it was launched, changed the game. This palette made everyone get up and pay attention to ABH as a brand. I think they were known for their eyebrows, their eyebrow pomades, but when they launched the Modern Renaissance palette, everyone and anyone and their grandmother and their mothers and their sisters, they were grabbing this eyeshadow palette, and I'm glad I did when this launched. This is a warm, earthy eyeshadow palette. It has a nice combination of shimmer and matte shades that you can use for your crease, for your transition, and for your lids as well. This eyeshadow palette looks good on everyone. So going by that theme, I would say, and I think I mentioned this last week, the 3 eyeshadow palettes from ABH that I think I love to bits and I think are their best ever launch: the Modern Renaissance palette, the Amrezy palette, as well as the Jackie Aina palette. These 2 are from beauty influencers. This was just launched as its own. So the 3 eyeshadow palettes that I will grab with me or stop on a deserted island, or if I have to leave in a hurry. So these 2 for my glam party looks, this one for my everyday work looks, and my soft glam looks, of course. Okay, going by that theme of my everyday work looks and my soft glam looks, these 2 palettes are those palettes that I would reach for. First being the MAC 15X warm neutral eyeshadow. I can't open this palette because it broke when I was assembling all my stuff for today's video, unfortunately. Sucks, but still, this palette is one I will grab. Okay, this palette I would say is everything that's indicative of the MAC brand. Basic, simple, but at the same time usable for everyone and anyone. This palette has a nice combination of the shimmers and the mattes that you can use for your transition and your crease shades. This is a very nice versatile palette that I think everyone who's worth their salt should have in their arsenal. Okay, the second, of course, will be the Huda Beauty Nude Eyeshadow Palette. Now, many have said that this is kind of similar to the ABH Modern Renaissance palette, and yes, there are some similarities, and yes, the formulas are, and yes, I know the formulas are very, very different. But there's something about the Huda palette that is also, the Huda palette has a bit more shimmer shades than the Modern Renaissance palette. This is a palette, another warm earth palette that I think goes with everyone and anyone. And why I like this palette a lot is because I can always pair this eyeshadow palette with any of my other eyeshadow palettes to create a nice bomb ass look. So the Huda Beauty Nude Eyeshadow Palette is a game changer, as well as the MAC X15 Warm Eyeshadow Palette. Another set of 2 eyeshadows that I will grab with me to a deserted island as well. So that makes my count 5. Okay, now we're going into the realm of the experimental bold eyeshadow, bold eye looks. The first of that will be another Huda Beauty item. This will be the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette. So when this was launched, I think about 2 years ago, there were different eyeshadow, there were different colors in the story. There was the blue one, which was the sapphire, there was the copper one, there was the red one. So this was one of the ones I got for myself because, and this is the eyeshadow, this is the eyeshadow palette I used to create today's look. As I said about Huda Beauty, there's something about their color pigmentation that is off the chain. You can get a nice color payoff with their eyeshadows, and this is one I would say you should have in your arsenal. Now, if you are not very versatile in your makeup game, I would say do not get it. Get the nude, okay, or get the other color shades. But if you want to be bold, if you want to try new eyeshadow looks, I would say go for it. And the good things are this, you can get this like 3/4 of the price right now, because they're not as expensive as they were when it first launched. Okay, so going with the theme of bold, experimental, playful looks, I would say the second one in that story will be my Boxer Crayon eyeshadow palette. And yes, I am a crayon cutie if I do say so myself. My girl Super Sen created a rainbow palette that I think was made for women of color in mind. These eyeshadows are super pigmented. They do not appear chalky at all. This is what the pink looks like. Any eyeshadow story that has a pink might end up looking chalky or ashy on our skin tone, but this doesn't. And mine broke, my mirror broke, but still doesn't matter. I think this is in my opinion, this is a very good eyeshadow palette. I know people tend to get scared when it comes to colors, but I'm not one to be scared. I am challenged when I see an eyeshadow palette like this, because I can create nice bold playful looks with eyeshadow palettes like this. It has a nice mix of shimmer, of glitter, and of matte shades. And I think if you are going to get an eyeshadow palette to experiment with makeup to experiment with your bold and playful looks, I would say you get this one, because this has all the colors that you would need. Nice matte shades, nice shimmer shades, and nice metallic shades as well to create those looks. So this one, and that makes my count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th eyeshadow palette that I'll grab with me in a hurry. Okay, the 8th one, you guys know already, I spoke about this last week. This is my Patricia Bright Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette, rich in color. You guys spoke about this last week, so click on that video to hear my thoughts on this eyeshadow palette. Okay, so going into the realm of my glam date night looks, I'm just going to go in there. This is quite a controversial pick. This is my Morphe James Charles eyeshadow palette. And I know what many have said about this eyeshadow. The staining, it's chalky, it's ashy. Now I can only speak for how this eyeshadow plays on me. So long as I use a very, very good eyeshadow base, I don't use a concealer. I use either the Morphe eyeshadow base or the Urban Decay eyeshadow portion, I do not have any problems at all with this eyeshadow palette. The reason why this palette has been successful as it's been is because it's a palette that can fit, that encompasses everything I've spoken about in terms of shopping for eyeshadows. You can create your everyday soft glam work looks, you can create your bold experimental looks, as well as the third one is your glam party date night looks. This shadow encompasses everything that I just spoke about when shopping for an eyeshadow. And I think the cons for this eyeshadow that I'm very much aware of, if not for the fact of those two things, that if not for the fact that I have to manipulate this eyeshadow to work on me, this would be the eyeshadow I would take with me to a deserted island. But I would rather take the crayon case instead. So it's between these two. The good thing about this about the Morphe James Charles Artistry palette is the fact that the placement of each shadow helps you, already does the work for you, and I'll explain. You can create a look with these four looks. This is your I'll say your brow bone, this is your transition, this is your crease, and this is your lid. Brow, transition, crease, lid. The same thing with the bottom line and the top line as well. This three here can work, this three here can work as your blush shades or your transition shades. Okay, sometimes this is a very good eyeshadow palette for a makeup beginner, but also be aware of the cons of this eyeshadow palette, just so you know. It doesn't stain me, and maybe because I'm always careful when I'm taking off my makeup, this doesn't stain me. But I think Morphe and James Charles created a very good palette. I wish they could revise the formula to make sure that it doesn't stain or it doesn't appear chalky to some people or ashy, but we all know it is what it is. But this is my ninth selection. Okay, my 10th selection will be, and this is an old palette, but to me it's a goodie, an oldie but a goodie. This is the Too Faced Life is a Unicorn Peace Love and Unicorn palette. This is an iridescent eyeshadow palette, if I do say so myself. The shadows appear as one thing in the pans and they show up as another thing. This is the shade Fireflies here, and this is the shade Fun in the Sun. Those two appear so similar, but you can imagine what they look like on my lids. They are so good, so iridescent, and this is an oldie but a goodie. And especially if I pair this eyeshadow with my Huda Beauty nude palette, I can create a nice bomb ass look with these two eyeshadows. Being for the fact that this doesn't have that many matte shades, I can create, for my crease and my transition, I can use this and I can create a nice look for whatever occasion I'm going to. Date night, parties, fantastic. Okay, so those are my 10 eyeshadow palettes that I will grab with me to a deserted island, or if you have to twist my arm, these are my 10. These are my favorite 10 that I will take with me. Like I said, I haven't tried the Natasha Denona. Those palettes, I've tried the singles, and okay, neither have I tried the Pat McGrath. I've tried the singles, but I would love to see how those eyeshadows work on my skin tone. So I've just ordered a few and let's see what they look like. Okay, so TT challenge accepted, and I think I killed, and I think I did fantastic. So if there's anything I'd like you guys to leave today's video with, is that let's keep those who are the front line of this crisis in our thoughts and prayers. Let's continue to lift them up in prayers and support them, and let's do our part. So okay, for today's look was inspired by my girl Donnie. I'm gonna put her link to her Instagram page down below. She's super talented. Every time I look at her page, I'm constantly inspired to create bold looks. This was her look. She created this I think a few weeks ago. She tagged this fool's gold. So how did I do? I think that's the end of today's video. I'm just gonna go and grab my Cheez-Its and watch Altered Carbon with my boo on the couch. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and most of all subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the video next week, and enjoy your weekend. Okay guys, mwah.